I don't want to smell you. You don't want to smell. No one wants that. So even if you think you don't smell, go wash your ass. Hello, Theo here. Whether it's your first time supporting your local or going to a major event, most tournaments have a lot in common. Going to events can be really stressful, especially when you've never been before and you don't really know what's going on. It's perfectly normal to have tournament jitters. And obviously, being in social situations can be difficult, and that's something that I very much understand. So I wanted to make this video to try to help alleviate some of the unknown factors, so you can kind of get an idea of what it's like to go to an event. And even if you've been going to tournaments for a while, there's a lot to glean from just reflecting on why you're going to events. Being properly prepared, physically and mentally, will help a lot with your jitters, with the stress of the social interactions, and all that type of thing. So there are three main components to going to a tournament. First is what you do before you go to the event. So first things first, you need to go register. Whether that's going on StartGG or on Challenge. Sometimes the event will have registration in person, so we'll talk about that when we get to the in-person segment of this video. But generally, try and pre-register for the event. It helps the TOs, and it helps you feel more confident that you know that you're set up and ready to go. Once you've registered, read the rules of your event. Most of them are standardized. You usually just have like a double elimination bracket, and there's not much else to it, and they just follow whatever World Tour rules that go along with the game you're playing. However, some of them are unique, some of them go Swiss, some of them are like round robin, so always check the rules for the event that you're going to. Make sure you always have your own remote. Most events require you to have your own controller, whether that be a PS5 controller or an arcade stick or whatever. Just make sure you have a controller. Once you've done that, you want to prep your gear. You want to make sure your stick's together, you got all your stuff you need. If you need an adapter, grab the adapter. A lot of events will have like more local events will have a BYOC, bring your own console type thing. So if you want to bring your PlayStation or bring whatever, like prepare yourself for that. Get that stuff together so it's less stressful when it's time to leave for the event. You don't usually need to bring a console. Normally that's all provided by the event, but it's up to you to have your own remote. And the last thing you need to do before you leave the house to go to your event is wash your ass. Go take a shower. I don't care if you think you don't smell, go clean yourself up. Go take a shower, put on deodorant, put on perfume or cologne, whatever you want to wear. Just make sure you don't smell. I don't want to smell you, you don't want to smell, no one wants that. So even if you think you don't smell, go wash your ass. The second main component of going to a tournament is what you actually do at the event. Once you're at the event, there's a couple things you need to take care of, a couple things that are your responsibility. First things first is if you haven't registered, if you didn't do a pre-registry thing, go talk to whoever you need to talk to get yourself registered. Make sure you've paid for your venue and your tournament entry, and once you've done that, go touch base with your TO. That's your tournament organizer. Now, sometimes the person that you pay for the entry fee or the person that you register with will also be the TO, so you won't have to do this step, but you want to make sure you ask the person that you're giving money to, hey, do I need to go check with the TO? Because what they'll do is they'll then go into Challenge or StartGG and they'll basically mark you as attending. You can sign up, and sometimes people won't show up, but they'll be signed up and they'll get DQ'd. So you want to make sure that you're registered, and then when you get there, you want to make sure that you check in with your TO. After you've checked in, go find your people. Whatever game you're playing, Tekken, Street Fighter, DNF Duel, my boys, if you're out here, let me know. But find the people that are playing your game and go warm up. Now, a lot of times people will be playing sets and you'll have to tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, can I get next? Because they're not going to just get up and let you play. They don't know you want to play until you tell them you want to play. I know communication can be kind of hard. I know that it can be daunting talking to strangers especially, but it's part of the culture. Everyone expects it to happen, so just do it. Just walk up to somebody and be like, hey, can I get next on the get next on the console, and almost everyone will be like, yeah, let us finish the set, or we're doing a first to five, let's finish the first five, and then whatever. But always ask to play some games, because A, it'll get some of the tournament jitters out of you, because you'll be playing the game, and B, you get to sit down and start playing the game and hanging out with people. If you brought your own console, feel free to get it set up, talk to the tournament organizer, he'll tell you where you can put it, and then you can set up and you can sit down on your own setup. Ask someone to play games with you. Don't just set it up and sit down and expect people to come up to you, because people are shy and introverts. We're talking about a bunch of nerds playing video games. So ask people, be like, hey, do you want to get some sets in? I need to warm up. Do you need to warm up? It'll help a lot in not only getting yourself more comfortable and acclimated, but it'll help other people get more comfortable and acclimated. And also introduce yourself to the group if you haven't already been there. So the way events normally flow is the TO will be like, hey, finish up your casuals, we're about to start the tournament. And then I'll start calling out names and he'll be like, Dingle Doofus versus DC Theo on Station 1. Herman Shermer and Charmin Ultra on Station 2. And it'll go on like that. And you'll play against your opponent. Like I said, check your rules for your game. And you'll play your opponent to whatever the appropriate amount of sets are. And then you and your opponent will, after the match is over, you and your opponent will go to your TO and say, hey, I won, he lost, I won 3-2, I won 2-1. Most events, again, check your rules, but most events are double elimination. So if you lose, it means that you're not out. You're just in the loser's bracket, which means you get to play again. So if you lose again, then you're out of the tournament. Once you're out of the tournament, stay. I think a big mistake a lot of people make is that they come, they play in the tournament, they lose, they leave. We'll be talking about this more in a couple of minutes, but it's really bad mentality to go to a local just to win the game. Usually you go to local to build community, to like hang out, learn your game, and get better. So if you lose in the tournament and you just leave, you're losing out on the majority of why you might go to an event, whether it's a major or a local. So the last main component of going to a tournament is your mentality. The mentality of a fighting game player is really important to their experience of the game. What I mean about this is if you walk in going, I'm just gonna lose and everything's gonna be bad, you're gonna have a bad time. Same thing if you go in and you're like, I'm the best ever, I'm gonna win this tournament, and then you get bopped. It's really important to set reasonable goals. Oh, I don't wanna go 0-2, I wanna win one set. Oh, I wanna do pretty well, I'd like to try to make it the top 8. Oh, but just set reasonable goals. Think about like where you're at as a fighting game player. If it's your first time ever playing an event, try to go in with no expectations. Try to just go in and play the game and have fun playing the game that you love. Setting your goals is really going to help your enjoyment of your time at locals. Don't put all your value in winning or losing. The next thing that I would do is figure out what it is you actually want from going to an event. What's your intention? Is your intention to try and win, to be the best you possibly can be? Is it to just grow and get better at the game that you're playing? Or maybe it's just to meet people who love the thing that you love and like you just want to be around those people. I think talking to yourself and figuring out what it is you're trying to do by going to this event is going to help your enjoyment. Because again, if you just show up, don't talk to anyone, go 0-2, you just immediately lose and leave, that's a miserable time. And like I said before, when you do eventually lose from the tournament, I mean, maybe you're the GOAT and you just win right away. Your first time out, you win. But when you do eventually lose in the tournament, try and stay. Hang out with people. Learn matchups. Talk to guys. Just try and have a good time with everyone, because the more you make connection, the more you're going to want to go back, and the more exciting it's going to be the next time you go, the more comfortable you'll be. One thing I talk about with some of our locals is that I've kind of lost most of my tournament nerves. Like, there's still a little bit there, but because I've gone to so many locals and I've gone to so many major events, it's, I wouldn't say routine, but it's really comfortable for me to just go into a competition setting, but still have a really good time and hang out with people and like make new friends and things like that, because I've competed so much now that a lot of that anxiety has washed off of me. Now, I'm not going to say that's going to work for you necessarily, but it does help just having the experience of going to events and competing in tournaments, whether they're local or major. All of this is to say you should definitely get out there and support your locals, support your majors, because a lot of the fun of playing fighting games is being shoulder to shoulder with people, having that contest of seeing who's better, hanging out with your friends and watching them beat some other guy's ass. Even traveling to events with friends, because everybody kind of wants to go to the same places. I'm going to Frosty Faustings, and I know some of the other guys are going out there from the Vegas crew. Fighting games are their best when they're enjoyed as a community. That's why it's called the FGC, Fighting Game Community. Because fighting games can be a lonely thing. It's a one-player game where all of everything relies on your skill and your knowledge. So it can get really easy to just isolate and stay home and play games and just sit in your little bubble and do the thing. But personally, I think that was never the point of fighting games. The point has always been to go out to events, go to tournaments, go to the arcades. And I think I'm getting off on a little bit of a tangent here. Main thing is, I've now given you 3 main components of going to a tournament: what to do before the tournament, what to do at the tournament, and what your mentality should be about the tournament. As always, get out there and support your locals, or come support mine.